Hey guys, it's William from OnDemand back with another video. So today we've got an exciting one planned for you guys. You've seen previously how we vibe coded full-scale applications with OnDemand powering the back end. However, within those videos, we've only taken one agent from within OnDemand and placed it within these applications we've built. Today's video, we're going to be using Lovable, and we're also going to be taking 3 agents that we've built within OnDemand and sort of using those to power the entire applications and different aspects of it. So without any further ado, we're going to jump straight into today's video. So as you can see here, we're now in the playground. We can go ahead, click on agent here, and you'll see agents that have already pre-configured for today's video. So we'll scroll down and we'll see stock market analysis for Lovable. So here we're obviously using the agent tools stock fundamental and technical analysis, as well as our stock market news and perplexity agent. So all of this is going to be used to retrieve sort of the information that we're looking for different stock prices. We also want an analysis, and we also really want to know kind of what news has recently affected these stocks. So if we jump back into the agent configuration here, you can see we're using GPT 4.1 as our model endpoint, and then our fulfillment prompt where we're asking you to give the output. I always need the identified stocks to be given first, then the output needs to be well formatted and in an easily readable manner. And we've gone ahead and selected state-of-the-art reasoning mode, which of course is Gemini 2.5 Pro. We've also then increased our max tokens to the absolute maximum threshold, and we'll just go ahead and test it first within OnDemand. So the prompt we're going to be using here is as follows. I need you to identify the top performing stocks from the last 24 hours. We only want a maximum of 5 to be identified, and for each stock that you identify, give me a news summary where you summarize the latest news affecting the stock, including earnings reports and major announcements. We then need a technical analysis on these stocks where we provide a basic technical analysis with current price trends, key support and resistance levels, and important indicators like RSI and moving averages, and finally give us some investment recommendations. So this aspect here that we're currently testing within OnDemand, just to make sure that all of the agent tools are working as expected. This is kind of how I envision it being within the full-scale application we build at the end here. I kind of want this to be just sort of like a news highlight reel at the top of the page, just kind of giving you key indicators, key stocks to keep your eyes on, that sort of thing. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to run this, and we'll check back once it's done. Okay, and great. So we've received our output here, and we'll scroll back up to the execution plan that was generated for us. So you can see here that it initially started off by identifying the top 5 performing stocks from the last 24 hours, just like we specified within the prompt. And then, of course, you can see here a lot of agent calls were made to the stock market news, US stock fundamental, and US stock technical analysis agent tools. What I love about using sort of the state-of-the-art reasoning mode here is that it calls all of these tools in parallel. It identifies what needs to be done, and then it kind of groups it together to collect all of this information at the same time for us. Kind of saves time here, and then just we know that the output is going to be, a very strong output. So if we scroll into that here, just as we specified within the fulfillment prompt, which you can see here, when you give me the output, I always need the identified stocks to be given first before you then give me the analysis, which has done exactly that. So it's identified Echo Star Corp, Hisei Group, Energy Fuels Incorporated, Neo Inc., and Cypher Mining Inc. Very cool. Then we look here and we've got the actual analysis on each stock. It's retrieved the price for us, latest news summary, then we've got a technical analysis and an investment recommendation. We've then got that for each and every stock that it's identified, as well as different sources that it's pulled this information from. Really big fan of that. And then it concludes here with a summary table of, sort of the stocks it's identified. It's given us a price, the change in percentage, the RSI's, relative strength index, and also a recommendation on whether we should hold, buy, or sell. In this case, it's only told us to hold or buy. So this is great. We now know that this works. We're happy with this. Now what we can do here is we can actually just take the code. Now, rather than me taking the code here, I already have exported this ahead of time. So we can just dive straight into our next sort of, agent use case. So we'll create a new session here, and then we'll select an agent from the drop-down list. I have it here, Stock Market Price Extractor. And for this one, all I'm asking for is it to just give me the prices. I don't want any other information. And the agent tools that we're using to extract this information is the fundamental and technical analysis agent tools, and also the stock market news. So the prompt that we're going to then use in order to sort of query these tools and sort of the secondary use case here is as follows. I just need you to retrieve the latest stock market prices for the following stocks only. We've then provided Nvidia, Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Google, or Alphabet Inc., Amazon, AMD, so on and so forth. Now, all we're looking for here is just a report with the stock market price and then the percentage indicator, whether it's increased or decreased. We're not looking for any more information. We don't need to change anything else, so we can go ahead and we'll just put it on reasoning mode deep turbo to make this as fast as possible, and then we can go ahead and change the fulfillment prompt here. So the fulfillment prompt that we're choosing to use is just give me the stock prices with their percentage indicator of an increase or decrease, just as we mentioned. We do not need any more information than this. So we'll go ahead and we'll click run, and then we'll check back in when we get the output. Okay, and fantastic. So that was super fast. You can see once again, it called all of the different queries in parallel. It used the stock fundamental analysis tool in order to extract this information. So we could actually go ahead and just remove the stock market technical analysis and the stock market news agent tools. We'll leave them in for the time being, but it's nice to know that we don't actually need to have them in order to get the output we're looking for. And then again, exactly as we specified within our fulfillment prompt, it's just giving us Nvidia, Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, and Google and their stock prices. So again, I've already extracted the code for this earlier, but it's as simple as get code, scroll down, we're selecting Python, and then we have the code here. We simply copy this. And now, since I have all of the sort of use cases, so with this agent here, the kind of way I'm envisioning this in sort of the platform itself is sort of like a banner at the top of the screen where it's sort of floating and it's just giving you the stock name as well as the stock prices. And that's just kind of going to be on a loop going around at the top, sort of in the header of the platform that we choose to build. So we've got all our code exports here from earlier on. You can see this is the Python code for the latest stock news segments. That was the first demo we just gave. We've already exported this. We then put in our API key, and then we can scroll through, and then we'll reach our next use case here, which is just for kind of the stock price extraction. And so you can see, usually here it would be a user entered field for kind of your query. We've already put the query in because we know we want this query to stay the same. And you can see here again, we've also done the same here. But interestingly enough, in the third agent tool here, I believe, scroll down a bit further. Yeah, so we've left this blank as your query, and this is because we also want an AI-powered chat segment that's also a part of the platform, which gives you access to all of the on-demand tools, but within the application that we're building, and then you can query them accordingly. We don't want them to be tied just simply to the prompt that we've provided. We want them to be able to query whatever they may like, whether it's other stocks or, you know, sort of analysis on their own portfolio, whatever it may be. We want to make sure they have that functionality in there. So now we've got all the code for this, and we can jump straight into Lovable where we can start building this platform. Okay, great. So now we are in Lovable, and we can go ahead and paste our prompt that we put together earlier. So scrolling through this, obviously you can see it's quite a lengthy one, but that's because we have all of the code exports that we have. So essentially what we're doing here is we're specifying that we want Lovable to build a full stock market analysis application. For all of the information, I've configured the code to extract this information for your ease. That was done with OnDemand. I want this to include relevant graphs, have an AI-powered chatbot on the right side of the screen, and at the top screen have that sort of floating banner like we mentioned earlier. We've then provided all of the code here, so we can see our query, then actual code here. Scrolling through, you can then see it will come up for stock price extractor. This is the code to use for it. And then finally, scroll down a little bit further, you'll see the AI stock chatbot feature, and we've provided the code for this as well. Then moving down to the bottom, we've specified that we want the color scheme of the application to be using navies, greens, and a darker color palette, and to give the name to this application something like AI Stock Support OS, or something that Lovable deems more relevant. So we'll go ahead and click run, and I will check back in with you as soon as this is complete. Okay, so now we are back with the full-scale application built for us, and immediately right off the bat, this is fitting all of the criteria that we specified. So you can see right here, we've got the floating sort of banner here with all the stocks that we specified, and this is calling the information directly from OnDemand. It's got all of the stocks that we included within the query here. It's obviously rebranded and called it MarketMind AI, Advanced Stock Market Analysis Platform. Then we've got some extra additions here that we didn't specify, which is really quite interesting. We've then got our stock price trends, market volume, latest stock analysis as well. You can see this is formatted very, very well. So we've got Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, Microsoft. Wow, this is, I'm thoroughly impressed with how this is going. And then MarketMind AI here. So now we've got our AI-powered chatbot as well. So let's go ahead and let's just put in the prompt here that we were using within OnDemand, and we'll compare the results between Lovable and OnDemand. So again, we're asking it to identify the top performing stocks from the last 24 hours, maximum 5, and then for each stock, give me a news summary, and so on and so forth. We'll click run, and we'll see how this goes. Okay, so we got the output extremely fast there. Obviously, this isn't as detailed as it was when we looked at OnDemand. It's only giving us information for NVIDIA here. I do like the placeholder text, ask about stocks analysis or market trends. Now the way we can test to see if this is actually calling it from OnDemand, if we jump back into the platform here, we'll head over to our overview page. And you can see we've got 51 tool calls as of right now. We'll head back into Lovable and we'll just ask it for fetch me the latest price of Apple stock. So we did run into a little bit of an issue there where it wasn't actually using the provided code for OnDemand that I gave it. We've then just gone and simply queried it once more saying, hey, this is the code we need you to use. Please integrate this with the chatbot. It's now successfully done this, and now we'll once again go ahead and test this. You can see everything else has stayed the same. We still have the floating banner, all of the different sort of analysis aspects here, but the main thing we want to test now is MarketMind AI. So it's asking us to put in our API key here. Great, so it's gone ahead and saved that for us. Now what we'll do is we'll check back in OnDemand. You can see 51 calls. We'll refresh this just to double check. Now we'll jump back into Lovable, fetch the latest price of Tesla stock. Okay, and the output we've received here is identified stock Tesla, latest price, and then an analysis on it. What I wasn't a fan of was how it was auto-scrolling down here for me, but let's go ahead and check OnDemand. We'll refresh this page, and 52 tool calls. So now we've successfully integrated OnDemand into our Lovable application. This is fantastic. So overall here, the functionality is fantastic. It required nothing further from us aside from a natural language prompt, and we only gave it 2 prompts. One was the sort of the basic overview one of exactly what we're looking for, and then the second one was just because it ran into a little bit of an issue, but that is kind of the problem you face when you're working with AI. And again, there was nothing technically difficult to do from our side. We simply provided the code, we provided the prompt, then we had to re-prompt it just to make sure it was doing exactly what we specified. This isn't a major issue. This isn't, sort of a red flag in any way, shape, or form. This is just the risk you run when you're working with AI, as I'm sure everyone knows. But it's managed to produce the full-scale application. It's managed to give it the full OnDemand integration, and it works. It is successful. So all in all here, I'm going to consider this a success. So now you've seen how we've successfully taken 3 agents from within OnDemand and integrated them into a vibe coding application such as Lovable to build a full-scale application for us to use. Now, what I think will be super interesting for a future video would be to take 2 vibe coding platforms and compare them side by side with exactly the same prompt, exactly the same backend functionality from OnDemand, and sort of see, how they rank against one another. So stay tuned for that video. We'll be pushing that out very soon. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate the time you spent here with me today, and I will catch you in the next video.